country A is importing a genetically engineered crop from country B. Now country B has already done all the required risk assessment before releasing it into the environment. So do you think country A also needs to do all those assessment for all those risks prior to the import of that GE crop? I assume everyone present here may have a mixed opinion on this question. Some of you may think they should, and some of you may think they should not. Similarly, some similarities and dissimilarities can also be observed in the environmental risk assessment or ERA guideline by different countries, and that is why this comparative study was conducted and entitled as a comparative study of environmental risk assessment ERA guideline for developing and developed countries, including Bangladesh. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sayeda Faria of Mimi, currently working as a teaching assistant in Bright University, Bangladesh. So, what is ERA? ERA is a systematic process to evaluate the qualitative and quantitative impacts of GE plants on the environment as well as on the human health. To elaborate more on this environmental risk assessment or ERA, environmental ERA of a GE plant needs to be assessed before releasing it into the environment. The assessments are actually done on a case-by-case study basis. The guideline for ERA is developed in accordance with the Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety or CPB. These guidelines provide a thorough, straightforward, and science-based framework to conduct the assessment. Finally, the regulatory authority makes the final decision using the data collected from the conducted ERA. These are the basic, these are the basic steps of ERA for any GE plant. Firstly, any potential risks are identified, and these risks are assessed in terms of its severity and quality. Then it's checked if all the evaluation trials have been completed or not. If all the trials have been completed, then the regulatory authority reports their final decision with a proper explanation and further monitoring for after its release into the environment. And on the other hand, if all these evaluation trials are not completed, then it goes back to the first step again. Now, these are the countries considered to compare with the ERA guideline of Bangladesh. There are 4 developing countries, which are India, Argentina, Brazil, and Bangladesh, and 4 developed countries, which were Canada, Australia, the European Union, and the United States. Now, you may ask why I have chosen these countries only. That is why, because all these countries have a well-designed and actively working guideline and protocol for environmental risk assessment. The main objective of this study was to collect all the required data and information from the guideline of environmental risk assessment and then compare these gathered data and information to find out the similarities and dissimilarities among the guidelines. The main resources used in this study was the official guideline for ERA developed by different countries. Other than this, some related research works, reports, case studies were also taken into account. This is the basic method we used in the study. So firstly, all the data and information were gathered from the official guideline, research articles, case studies, and reports. Then these data and information were categorized into unified criteria and then into sub criteria, and finally all this data and information was compared and analyzed to find out the similarities and dissimilarities. Now here is the result and discussion part of this study. To analyze the ERA criteria, some indications were used in the study. Y indicates such information and data which is mentioned in the regulatory guideline. I indicates any such information which was present in the guideline, however not in a very explicit manner. Blank space was used when the information and data were not found on the regulatory documents. Lastly, case by case selective information was denoted by E. These are such information which is not obligatory by the regulatory authority. However, they might ask for such information on a case by case specific basis. Now let us look into the common risk criteria which were mentioned in the regulatory guidelines. The very first one is the description of the biology of non-transformed plant species, which is the receiver of the transgene. These data are used to find out or observe the changes between the transformed and non-transformed plant. The next one is the description of donor organism of the transgene which is received by the non-transformed plant. There is a possibility that unwanted element can also be transferred with the transgene into the non-transformed plant. That is why it is very important to assess this criteria. The next one is the description of genetic modification and characterization of transgene. The genetic modification method used in the transformation can have impact on the GE plant, and so can the transgene. Phenotypic characteristics of GE plant is also another important criteria to assess. These data and information are basically used while assessing any increased tendency to weediness, competitiveness, or invasiveness. Cultivation convention of the GE plant is important to look into to find out any additional facility if required for the cultivation of the GE plant. The next one is the impact of outcrossing with sexually compatible relatives. This is also very important to look into this matter, because due to such outcrossing, any unwanted and unknown risk can arise. The another criteria is potential adverse effect on non-target organisms or NTOs. Sometimes genetically engineered plant have some target organisms such as insect resistant or herbicide resistance, and such resistant plant may have impact on organisms other than the targeted ones. So that is why it's very important to check these potential adverse impacts on the NTOs as well. Now, ERA does not end once the GE plant is released into the environment, and post-release environmental monitoring is very important to continue. These post-release environmental monitoring is done on a case-by-case basis, and it is hypothesis-driven. Sometimes regulatory authority approves a GE plan with a condition of conducting its post-release environmental monitoring. Instructions on data quality is very important, as scientifically sound information is essential to for an effective ERA guideline. Sometimes more than one GE events are used in the modification of GE plant, and such events are called stacked events, and these are needed to be assessed very importantly. Now let us see in details data requirements for the ERA. Here we are looking into the description of biology of non-transformed plant species, which is the receiver of the transgene. Among all the various criteria where the assessment is done, we can see that most of the criteria are similar among the countries. For example, common scientific name and taxonomy, weediness, and gene flow. However, at 3 points, there are some variations. For instance, breeding and seed production ways, agronomic convention, history of its use. The next one is the description of donor organism. Surprisingly, scientific and taxonomic classification are not required by many of the guidelines in this case. However, chronicle of safe use of organisms or components are much more important in terms of this criteria. The next one is the description of genetic modification characterization of the transgene. Here we can see that almost all the required attributes are similar among the guidelines. However, Brazil does not record any information on the sequence homology with known allergen sequences. In terms of phenotypic characteristics of the G plan, we can see that almost all the required information is similar, except for India. India does not record any information on changes in outcrossing frequency and also on fertility. Further, both India and Argentina does not record any information on cells compatibility. These are some other criteria where only Australia and Brazil record information on substances in soil. When we look into the cultivation convention of the G plan, we can see that all the required data and information are similar except for Argentina on the management plans for insect and herbicide resistant crop.
You have 2 minutes to conclude, please.
Okay. When we see the impacts of outcrossing in sexually compatible relatives, we can see that almost all the criteria are same, and these issues are actually concerned with the gene flow issues. Potential adverse effects on NTOs show 100% similarity, and these criteria, these information are similar, shows 100% similarities among the guidelines. Now, if we see the post-release environmental monitoring, we can see that in India, Brazil, and the European Union considers these 3 criteria as important one, and the other countries do not consider these as much important like those countries. So instructions on data quality is very important. However, Argentina, Australia, and Brazil have not mentioned anything about it on their guideline, and not all the countries actually use stacked events during the modification. However, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, the European Union require information on the approval permission for stacked event. Further, the European Union also require information on the new environmental for such stacked events. So here is the summary outlined from the comparative study. Here, green color contains maximum amount of similarities. Yellow indicates more or less equal amount of similarities and dissimilarities. And orange color contains maximum amount of similarities. So if we look into the table, we can see that description of donor organism and post-release environmental monitoring actually shows more or less equal amount of similarities and dissimilarities. Instructions on data quality shows maximum amount of dissimilarities. And on the other hand, for all the other criteria, they show maximum amount of similarities. So if these similarities are recognized in a more framed manner, then the approval pathway of G plans can be shared. A lot of required data and information in all these guidelines are observed alike. So this suggests that this can pave the pathway to harmonization. In future, more research needs to be done to look into in details of such criteria to find out the possibility for harmonization. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Feel free to ask if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Faria, for your very good presentation.